What should we talk about?
Well, whatever you'd like to talk about, really. I mean,
should we open it up to
we can do that. We've got people that are here to ask questions, of course.
When you were playing Korra, what was the most challenging part of either, getting into character or just playing that role, while watching, the scene being played back to you? And speaking it, just what's the hardest part for you about playing Korra?
So I'm glad you brought this up because, did everyone hear that? Okay, great. So for with most Japanese anime, when actors come in, they are matching to existing animation. But with all of the Nickelodeon stuff, all the Avatar stuff, it gets animated afterwards. So when we go in to record, and Nickelodeon does love recording as a group, I'm going to go ahead and say this because I'm not going to give anything away, but I've been voice directing a new project.
Very exciting.
Keeping it in the family. It's the coolest thing in the world to be on this side of it and to be, anyway, I'm really excited for everyone. Okay.
So getting to that 10-minute mark.
I know, I will get to, if I could just tell you what it is. Brian Konetzko is very much in charge of it, and yeah, he's like, I just want to tell everyone, this is so dumb. I just want to tell everyone. Anyway, it's been wonderful. But, so we're just there with a music stand and our script, and that's it. And then, the guidance from the voice director and from the creators. And so it's definitely more of an exercise in imagination than if you're doing anime dubbing or if you're doing on-camera stuff. Yeah. But I like that, I like that you're sort of, that's the kid in all of us, that we love world building and pretending. And so I don't find that part hard. However, and her character, very, very not a problem for me. I really relate to, sort of, look, we're all can be a little impatient with Korra in the first season or two. She's going through a lot. She's, where she comes from, being told, as a tiny child. And my whole, I do this podcast with Dante Bosco called Braving the Elements, and we've been doing the first 2 books of Korra. And I've just spent a lot of time talking about, the idea of Aang missing out on 100 years and him being so haunted by that. We know that he was so haunted by that. And so it makes sense to me that when it was time for the reincarnation to happen, that he would be like, come on. I'm gonna come in hot. I'm gonna, I don't wanna waste any time. I'm gonna be a little kid prodigy. Also, the universe has other plans in store for you in terms of maybe you're not going to be that great of an airbender at first, because that impatient side of your personality is telling you do it, help, save the world, this is you. And then you have people around you telling you you're you started so young, you're so amazing. And then that's what you understand yourself to be. And then you go to this environment where it's everything is not what you thought it was going to be. But so all of that I could definitely relate to, and just also the impatience of feeling I want to fix something now. I want to do it now. Let me help people now. So that was all very easy. The hardest part for me was when the only time you do see the animation that you're talking along to or that you're matching is with all the fight stuff or with the action. And that is challenging for a couple of reasons. One of them is that it's so exciting because you're seeing the animation for the first time, that it is almost impossible for me to focus on my job, because all I'm doing is oh, it's so beautiful, this is so amazing. What? Oh, I do. Yes, I will make a grunting sound. I'm so sorry. I missed that. Because it's just magic. It's just magic. That feeling never goes away. Every time I see anything animated that has my voice attached, I'm how did this happen?
It's like you.
Yeah.
You're watching you.
But you are, but you're not. That's because that's what's a good thing about it. Because I hate watching myself on camera, but I can handle listening to my voice because it feels like it belongs to someone else when it's looks like something different. But yeah, so the hardest part is matching, wanting to really make those effort sounds and do the animation right, because when you are looking at the animation, you are highly aware of how good it is, and you're when you just have the script in front of you, you're oh yeah, this is fine, we haven't even animated yet, it's fine, I'm in charge right now. And then you see it animated and you're don't screw this up, Janet, do not screw this up. And then the other part that's hard about it is that very often for Korra, Dee Bradley Baker would be in on the same day, and so he would be doing, because he brings, when he does a character when he's a creature voices, he does do all of that. It's already been animated. So hearing him do the sounds of Pabu and Naga and anybody, Appa, anybody, is unreal. It's crazy, and so that's also very distracting. So it's really like the kid part is hard, and I had a really hard time. I think this is true for a lot of voice actors. I have a really hard time with like, you're falling, because we all want to do that thing. We're like, ah, and like we get further away, and they're like, we don't need you to do that. You don't have to make that. We can do that. You can just scream, and we'll make you sound further away. That's our job. So there's a lot of like, oh, okay. Like those are things that I had to really get comfortable with, because I wanted to like do it right.
Right.
That was pretty long. That was a pretty long answer.
That was great.
I feel good.
I really enjoyed that. That was really great.
Wonderful.
Thank you so
Unfortunately,
much.
Miki, you had to stand there the whole time. That's probably not that fun, but.
Because we see throughout the show, Korra starts out very confident, very in her own, knowing she's the Avatar. And as she gets into her teen years, obviously, working with the air nomads and things, she starts to get discouraged. And throughout the show, we just see like a roller coaster of her up and downs.
Yeah.
How was it playing such an emotionally complex character?
Just the best gift ever. I mean, I come from, like, as a younger person, I just did, acting, and like I went to public school, so I was not like a conservatory kid or anything like that. I just went to public school. This is like this is like nice for like auditoriums. I was like, no, we had a cafeteria with a stage.
Right.
But I always did like serious stuff, and I never did anything in comedy. And then when I got a little older, like in college, I got coaxed into doing improv and sketch, but I had never really done it at that point. But when I went to LA, it was because I had been like scouted or whatever doing comedy. So it was very funny to me that like a place where I assumed I would be doing the most broad comedy, which would be animation, also ended up being where I would do my most serious acting.
Right.
And it was such a pleasure and such a it was amazing. I mean, I was so excited to read every script, and to just like, I was such a nerd. Brian would be like, do you want to see some of the drawings? And I'd be, yes, you don't even have to finish. Yes, please take me to your cubicle. It was amazing. And again, as I said earlier, it was very easy because the writing was so good, and so that was not hard for me to kind of access. Even just on the page, And I love just reading stuff. I love reading audiobooks. I love reading to kids. Like, I just love the whole experience of reading off the page. So that felt very like familiar to me. It was like, it still comes alive, in my brain.
Right. Yeah. And then do you think that you would react the same way as Korra did in her situations? Because I feel like we often forget that Korra is still a young teenager in these situations. So do you, at her age, do you think that you would have handled these situations the same?
That's a great question. I'm much more, I appreciate that. One of the things, like a thing that I relate to about Korra is I love that she's like always willing, she's like ready to apologize. Like, that's one of the things that, when people are hard on her, I'm like, yeah, but it takes her about 2 seconds to be like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Like, I was wrong.
Right.
She's stubborn, but she's not stubborn in that way.
Right.
And to me, that's like a huge character gift, is like, the hardest people for me to deal with are the ones who can never say they're wrong. I don't care. You can be wrong. Let's all be wrong. And then let's admit it and like apologize. Like, that's how we be who we are, Right. But I'm much more like team oriented than I was then as a high school kid. Like, I was more, I just wasn't as, I'm an only child, so I was like independent in that way, but I was very like, I'm also an Aquarius. So I was like, come on, let's all make a thing. Like, no one's better than anyone else. Yeah. Like, that dynamic feels like her being the boss of everything, or feeling like she has to be the boss of everything. It definitely, like, I relate to the sort of type A-ness of it, but I also tend to like try to balance that out by being like, I don't have to decide. Like, I'm so ready for someone else to make this decision. Let's do it as a group. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, great questions.
The series ended a long time ago. You've had so much time to still be absorbed mentally in the universe.
Yeah, which I made sure happened as I created that podcast. I was
Absolutely.
like, I'm not ready to be done with this at all. Quickly, someone let me do a podcast about it.
So I wanted to ask, is there anything about the person of Korra, whether it's motivations or legacy or whatever, that you view differently now than the way you did when the series ended?
then when it ended, I don't know if I feel so differently than when it ended. I mean, I was definitely on the same journey we all were with her when we were doing it, because I love the first series so much, and like, I don't know, Korra comes with the baggage of like, it's both brilliant that they set it so far in the future, and it's also like heartbreaking. Like, who wants to be told like within the first episode of a new show that Sokka isn't alive anymore? I mean, that's really hard. But as far as, I mean, I think the only thing that I would say I wouldn't say it's changed. It's just only grown more profound and like wonderful, and a bigger and bigger part of my life is just the accumulation of time of doing stuff like this, where, I gotta not hit this. I'm a podcaster, I should know better. Is just the accumulation of like the experiences of other people and the way they relate to what Korra went through, and having gone through physical challenges, emotional, mental challenges, or understanding their sexuality better, differently because of Korra. All of that stuff is just like a river of love flowing into my heart, and I just want to flow it back because it was life-changing. It's life-changing, and the fact that it still resonates and is something that people recognize as meaningful and want to talk about is like, I'll just never take that for granted.
So the evolution has come from other people sharing their insights.
Yeah,
to the
it's
character
only
and
gotten richer.
How she's affected their lives.
Yeah.
More so than your own like mental tossing and turning about the person of Korra.
Yeah,
That's awesome. That's very cool.
I have a lot. I mean, I have a lot of empathy for her, and I love seeing her through all of these different lenses that people bring.
Korra's role as the Avatar is tested in such a unique way. She's living in a world that increasingly questions whether the Avatar is even necessary. In Book 1, Amon introduces the first real fear when we see in her losing her bending and identity. In Book 2, she's torn between the human and spiritual worlds and ultimately loses her connection to the past avatars. In Book 3, challenges her physically and ideologically with Zahir, who wants to dismantle all forms of authority, including her. And in Book 4, she's left with deep trauma while trying to find her place in a world that's beginning to move on without her. So, what do you think was the most difficult part of Korra's journey through all of this? And where do you feel she experienced the most meaningful personal growth?
Oh my goodness, what a great, now I see why you wrote that down. That was beautiful. It's all so hard. I mean, I don't know how to, I don't know how to give you an answer about what's the hardest beyond like Zahir and the sort of, physical trauma. And because it's not just physical, right? That's what PTS is all about, is that it messes with who we understand ourselves to be. It messes with our own sense of reality. And so I think that is kind of the ultimate, like that's rock bottom, right? Don't you think? Mm-hmm. Do you think that? Do you agree with me?
I agree with you, but then there's also the aspect of her losing, like, her sense of identity with the past avatars.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I mean, that's incredibly painful. And of course, she makes the decision to keep the portals open and doesn't really know if that's the right choice because she can't talk to anybody about it from the past, So that's intense, for sure. I don't think, but that's a good question, because would everything that happened to her from that point on be as hard had she not lost that connection? So if you're going by like, this begets that, which then makes this harder and then makes that even harder, then maybe it is losing that connection. I have a lot of faith that somehow that connection is going to come back in the future, but I don't know. So no one walk away going like, oh my God, Seven Haven, the Avatar gets her connection back. I don't know, but I just feel like it's too, I don't know. It's like the real world. We're still discovering things in science that we either perceived as mystical, or maybe we still do perceive as mystical, and maybe it's a little of both. But I just feel like there are things that we're still discovering all the time about the Avatarverse. So who knows?
All right.
Right?
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for that beautiful question.
What would you say are your top 3 favorite characters from Avatar, either from the original or Korra.
Yeah. I mean, look, I know he's morally complex, or at least maybe he's just not complex, it's just amoral, but I love Varric. I just love Varric so much. I cannot separate him from John Michael Higgins, who is like one of my favorite human beings on the planet. I get to do improv with him. He's a friend, and like, he's just the person that you just want, if you had to stand in line at the DMV, like you just want him with you everywhere because he's so funny and just can't help but be like entertaining and delightful, but he's not like phony. Like sometimes people are always performing and you feel like you're not seeing who they are. Yeah. He somehow manages to do all of the above. So I love Varric. For all the reasons and more. I mean, I pick a lot of funny. I love. Again, we talked about it earlier. I need comedy. It has gotten me through some of the hardest things I've ever gone through in my life, and so I'm inclined to like lean into some Sokka. I'm inclined to lean into some to Bolin. I love them. I love them so much. Toph, also very funny. I'm a little afraid of Toph. Like I'm afraid that she would say something and I'd be like, oh, that's so funny. That hurt my feelings. You know what I mean? You're like, ooh, she got a little spicy. Yeah. Unfortunately, she kind of said something that's true and I'm uncomfortable about it. Like that's kind of like, she's very acerbic. I also love Lynn. I love her daughter. So, I mean, those are the people that kind of bubble up to the surface for me. I'm really thinking about them kind of as myself, like hanging out, kind of. Yeah. I love characters like Tenzin and Iroh for the like, thank you for making me feel like I can get through another day, you know? So those kinds of characters are like so important as well. What about you? You love Iroh?
Yeah.
I love Iroh, right?
I know I was voice actor. I was voice actor changed because unfortunately the original voice actor.
Mako, I know.
Mako passing was rough.
I know.
That episode was amazing.
Oh my God.
It was at the very end for Mako.
I know. It just makes me cry. Yeah. And Greg honors Mako so much. He's so humble about it, and he's like, you know, he signs stuff, Iroh 2.0, you know, he's like, I'm just here to, you know, represent Mako, and he's lovely. I love Greg.
You know, and not just honoring and respecting Mako, but doing Iroh. You also doing the voice of Aku and Samurai Jack.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I know.
Just straight up amazing.
I know. Samurai Jack is so good.
I was like, I love Toph. I love her personality. I just love her. You know, her take charge of adventurous and how she doesn't take crap from anyone. It's like, what with me? All right, come on, bring it.
That's right. That's right. Why don't you find out? Why don't you find out how tiny I am?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I especially love when she's training Aang. It's just like she's so brutal.
I know. And that's hard. Isn't it so? It's so crazy that. And thank you so much, Adam. That was great. Great question. Like I still struggle with like Earth being Aang's hardest like element to master. You know what I mean? Like it feels like it should be fire on some level, but and obviously like he has the experience of being excited about fire and then he burns Katara, but it's interesting to me that that's like his biggest, you know.
Yeah.
I know, but like at the same time it is, but like I guess I just associate it's because the Fire Nation is such a problem in the first. I mean, not, you know, good people in the Fire Nation, but like it's hard. Yeah, I sort of think of that as the opposite, but it's not. It's sort of, yeah. Thank you.
If you could have any animal from the Avatar universe as a pet,
just one. This is really hard. Top 5. This is good.
I want a saber-toothed moose lion cub named Fufu Cuddly Poops.
I mean, Fufu Cuddly Poops is extremely cute. Yeah. They get a little bit scarier when they get older. I think we realize this, but no, he's so good. But we have to be careful because that's like when people buy little teapot pigs or teacup pigs. Yeah. Then they grow and you're like, oh, Fufu Cuddly Poops. I don't know what to do with you now.
Yeah.
But I do love Fufu Cuddly Poops. I'm gonna say, I mean, definitely turtle duck. That's, you know. Unfortunately, that turtle duck is going to need another turtle duck because I don't think that they like to be alone. So, but let's say that one turtle duck equals additional turtle ducks. Definitely want a polar bear dog. Definitely want a fire ferret. Definitely want a sky bison. I mean, I feel bad discluding Momo, but now I've like picked all of the big ones. and I feel like I need to go. Oh, I want the cat deer that is in that wand. That's wands. Yeah. Like I can't remember her name right now. It's like 2 syllables. It's like Nala, but I don't think it is, unless it is. What about you? What are your top 5?
You know, that's a good question.
Badger
That's
hole.
right. I'm turning it back on you. Now you know how it feels. Who wants to pick? Who wants to choose? Sorry, platypus bear. Sorry, ostrich horse. Sorry, Komodo Ryan.
I think having
Motor rhino.
a little polar bear dog friend would be fun.
How little? Because you know Naga.
Well, I mean, it's little, like maybe half my size.
Okay. A little tiny version.
Yeah, like about the size of my dog, a German Shepherd.
Yeah.
But you know.
Do polar bear dogs come in different breeds, like a Chihuahua polar bear dog versus
I
a
mean,
German
this is a
Shepherd
good
polar bear
question.
dog?
A corgi polar bear dog is like the exact size of Naga, but just tiny little legs. That's pretty cute. All right, I like that. Any more?
I don't know about top 5, but
Okay.
I will spitball a few more.
I'm going to say for you, now I'm just giving you things. Maybe a otter penguin. Those are
Otter
so cute.
penguin.
What else are really good? Guys, throw out some of your faves. Koala otter, please. Anything with an otter.
Would that really be
A
called
dragon,
like?
not bad.
I used
Not a
to
bad
play
thing.
soccer on a team called the Koalas.
There you go.
So
Okay,
that-
koala sheep, also very cute. Pretty much anything they combine with koala is extremely cute. Shearshoe. What? Every once in a while, you want a friend that can, like, paralyze someone with their tongue. Oh my God, Wan Chi Tong. Oh, we just Dante and I just watched the episode fairly recently where Janora meets Wan Chi Tong, and that I could watch that scene. You guys know what I'm talking about? The scene over and over again where, because Hector Elizondo's so good at just being straight-faced.
Yeah, Hector
when he's
Elizondo's
like,
voice was-
I know about the radio. I know that there's a tiny man inside the radio. Like, it's so satisfying. And then he's like, someone may have misinformed me. And then, like, the little spirit box is like, doo, bye. So good. Spirit, yeah. And, I mean, once you start getting into the spirit animals, too, then it's like, uh-oh, we just cracked a whole new thing open. Because then you have, like, furry foot and the little, like, dragon, the baby, like, dragon. Ugh.
Yeah, if there's like a spirit mushroom.
There is.
I would
Gray
like to
voiced
have
a spirit
one of those
mushroom.
as a friend. That-
Oh,
that
for
would-
sure.
Turtle duck, spirit mushroom, and Naga.
I'm so on board with those choices. And then thank you for not choosing that spirit spider that Gray also voiced because. But preview, if you do listen to Braving the Elements, you know that I write a fake ad for every episode. This is being revealed now for the first and possibly only time until it airs. But I wrote my ad for the episode with that spider is like a cereal. Because I was like, wait, what does that remind? Because I was looking at the glowing orange or the glowing yellow star that the spirit spider uses to attract prey, and I was like, that looks like a marshmallow. So I was like, what would that cereal be? So it's spider bites. Get some spider bites, everybody. I'm way too into the Avatar verse.
If you were the Avatar, which element do you think would be hardest to learn, and which element do you think would be the most fun to
Like
learn?
me, Janet.
Yeah.
Taking right now today, we find I find out that I'm the Avatar, and I
Yeah.
now have to learn everything, and assuming I have to learn it in some sort of order, like the order, whether or not
Yeah.
I start with. Yeah. Oh boy. What do I think would be the hardest? I mean, I kind of think air would be the hardest. It's hard for me to separate myself from that feeling of that feeling of impatience. I really understand the feeling of feeling like you have to do something instead of sort of let yourself become part of something bigger, or to take a step back and be more defensive and respond that way instead of like, let me fix, let me do, let me heal with water, let me be mad and have fire. I'm oversimplifying all the elements. They all have their light and their dark. Of course, it's all about balance. Earth feels like it would be super, like that would be like maybe the first thing I would want to learn, just because it's so badass. And you talk about feeling the impact of the thing that you're bending. So I kind of do feel like air would be hard for me. I feel like I have a lot of the spirit of an airbender, but my impatience, I have to be the leaf, and that would take me a minute. What about you?
Air.
Yeah,
Yeah.
air too.
Yeah.
Who thinks that air would be the easiest for them? I love you. I'm so in awe. That's amazing. Now I'm going to do a poll. Who thinks that fire would be the easiest for them? And this doesn't mean that I'm saying you're the Avatar. I'm not saying you can only be this, Okay, we got only one that would say fire first. All right, Dante. If Dante were here, he'd be very disappointed. Always looking for Fire Nation. Always looking out for Fire Nation. Who thinks that water would be the easiest? Yeah, a lot of water benders. I feel you. And who thinks that earth would be the easiest? Okay. This makes sense to me. Who said we only have 2 airbenders? Well, that makes sense. Fire Nation, Dante's mad, and he loves you. And then everything else feels like it's about what I would expect, like earth and water. I feel like there's a lot of earth and water energy. Yeah, it's great to see you again.
Yeah, thank you.
Great question.
Because Aang was trapped in the iceberg for 100 years, he ended up taking up the time Korra would have originally been in, which would have matched up with Sokka and Katara and Toph and everything. So if, let's say that he had his time and then that 100 years passed and Korra was born into that era that we saw Avatar: The Last Airbender in, how do you think she would have managed through that, since in Legend of Korra she's so integrated into modernized society?
Yeah.
How do you think she would have done in like the
That's such a great question. Is this that I've never been asked that question before, and I'm sure that it is like happening in fan forums and stuff. For obvious reasons, I stay off of the internet when it comes to Korra because I don't need like the 5 guys who hate that a girl is powerful to give me. They can have that. They can have that space. I'm in the real world talking to people like you. But I've never thought about it that way before. I mean, obviously, like you sort of go, okay, well, everything. I like the exercise because everything changes if it's, if she's there, then like who are her parents and like is she still herself? But let's just say that her parents are in the Southern Water Tribe and like she is born into that. I mean, first of all, like I think that you would fit in great. Mm-hmm. Like I just see her hanging with Katara and Sokka and Toph. Like I mean, and Zuko. Like it feels like Aang's experience with all of those characters like really infused that's the spirit of so many of them in her. Even and up to including like Zuko's like hot-headedness and his sort of like stubbornness and his like no, I have one job and this is my job. Like all of that feels like, oh, what a wonderful tribute to your friends that you would take all of that in and that would help build your character for your next life. But I think she would do well. I mean, I think it would be really interesting to see her in like Ozai's world, for example. But of course, we don't know if Ozai would be Ozai because Aang would have been in his era, and like would there have been, there wouldn't have been a 100-year war. But I think if all things kind of being equal, I think she would do well. It would be interesting to see her actually kind of matter differently. Because it's true, in the industrial age, like on Braving the Elements, we always do, when we're discussing an episode, we always talk about most valuable bending and most valuable non-bending. And sometimes we have to give it to somebody. We're like, okay, like Tarlok wins. He had the most valuable bending, like just looking at it objectively. Yeah. But one of the things that we've been experiencing talking about Korra is it's getting harder and harder in every episode to come up with the most valuable bending, and it's really easy to come up with the most valuable non-bending. And that says so much about the time that she's living in. So it's been a really great, like, that part of it has been so fascinating for us to be like, oh my God, another episode where we're kind of like none of the bending really worked or did what it was supposed to do, and instead Asami takes it for the glove and like her tough decision with her dad. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Obviously, I'm always happy to give it to Asami. I would do that every episode she's in if I could. But yeah, so I think I love the idea of like what it would have been like for her to be in a totally different era.
Totally. And quickly, what do you think her dynamics would be with the original gang?
I mean, I think they would be great. I mean, I think Toph would be so excited. I mean, I love Katara, and Katara also gets, like people, the whole mom thing. Like we even make fun of it in the show itself. But I think having a bridge between Katara and Toph like would have been cool to see and experience. I think that like not unlike Bolin, Korra and Sokka would just be like, I need food, where is it? Let's find food, let's find noodles, let's find like pastries, what's happening?
Yeah.
I think it would be awesome to see Azula. I mean, it would be so cool for Korra to be like, Zuko, I got your back, and to be like, hey, what's up, Azula? You know what I mean? Just to have that exchange. She's like, you're banished. No, we're not banished.
You did really good on that impression.
I've been working on it. I like to do it because it really ruffles Dante's feathers. He's like, oh, at least I don't have to deal with my sister. I'm like, why don't you want to deal with your sister? He's like, no. So yeah, and then who am I forgetting? I mean, I think again, we already know that she would love Iroh because we've even seen that exchange. And then I think did I cover everyone? Obviously, she loves Appa. It's so weird that Oogie's so like peripheral in Korra after we all love Appa so much, and there's just like random Naga. Oogie, poor Oogie. Like, Oogie, what are you like? What are you into?
Yeah, but I love Naga. She's great. So.
Oh, I know. I love Naga too. She's great. Whose breath do you think smells worse, Naga or Appa? I know. Appa. I was thinking about that. I think Appa's breath has been. He's a little bigger, but it's true. He eats more grass and stuff. No, this is an open forum. He eats more grass and stuff, so maybe he would have better breath, because if she's like eating meat and stuff, I mean, it does probably make her breath. I was thinking about that in like the scene where like she's sharing a tiny room with Korra, and they're just like so close, and I was like, again, I love my dog, but his mouth isn't even that big, and his breath is terrible. 100%. Maybe just don't notice.
Well, thank you very much.
Thanks, Vika.
If you could sit down and have lunch or have a conversation with anybody in the Avatar universe, who would you wanna just chat with?
Oh, okay.
I mean, top 5.
I mean, yeah, easy answer, Iroh, for sure.
Right.
I'm gonna give a hot take. I've become a real Hama apologist. I would like to sit down with Hama before she has been imprisoned and gone mad.
Interesting.
Because my current belief that I've been arguing for, because Dante hates Hama, is like, what if Toph wasn't as powerful as she was, and what if she didn't learn to metal bend right away? What if she was imprisoned for as long as Hama was imprisoned, and she was just losing her mind and trying to figure out how she could use what she had to get out? It broke her. What if it broke Toph? You know what I'm saying? So like, I just have a lot of sympathy for Hama, even though she seems like this like evil hag. I'm like, dude, no, like she went through. Yeah. So I don't know. I just feel like I would like to know, because if I meet Hama and we sit down and we have a meal, and like I walk away being like, oh she no good, like even before any of that's happened, then at least I know that. But I don't feel like we get the opportunity to know what happened to her before like the trauma. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, she was friends with Katara's grandma.
I mean, so, you know. It's just like, it's like we have to remember that our circumstances can really shape who we are, whether we like it or not. And so I try to have grace for characters like Hama. Yeah.
Very kind of you.
You know.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
What a wonderful group. Thank you so much for those great questions.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh my God, what a joy.
Oh, excellent. I'm glad you're here. Thank you. So I'm assuming you'll be headed back to your table for a little bit.
Table,
so yeah, if you guys have other questions, you want to meet Janet and go say hi and to talk and chit chat about the show, she'll be back at her table for a little bit. And of course, you're here all weekend. So
I'm here all weekend.
Thank you very much, everybody, and please enjoy the show.
Over there.
Thank you, Janet.